Once he has his opponent on his shoulders and he smacks them down with a one-winged angel, you know the fight's over. Omega is one of the best wrestlers in this era. In fact, he's so good, the WWE actually extended a contract to him more than 5 times, but Omega rejected every single one of them. His high-risk athleticism inside the ring has made him a champion across many promotions, but his rise to getting the AEW World Championship is a story that must be told. Today, we reveal that story. Be sure to stay until the very end when we reveal the epic moment when Omega captured the AEW Championship for the first time. So sit back and let's rewind the tapes on Omega's journey to becoming the longest reigning champ in AEW. Kenny Omega's real name is Tyson Smith. He was born in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada on the 16th of October 1983. Omega lived with his parents and younger sister, whose names have been kept off the media. As a child, Omega was a die-hard fan of the WWE, which was called the WWF back then. But he wasn't so keen on becoming a wrestler himself. Growing older, he was involved in playing ice hockey as a goalie and worked as a retailer in an IGA store. Kenny loved ice hockey until one of his very close friends from the Transcona Collegiate Institute where he schooled started training with Top Rope Championship Wrestling in Winnipeg. At that very moment, he picked up more interesting than ever in wrestling. Little did Omega know his life was about to change forever. One day, while he worked his shift at the IGA store, TRCW's famous promoter, Bobby J, walked right past him as he was stacking the shelves. He summoned courage and approached Jay to have a conversation with him. According to Omega himself, he told Jay how much he'd love to train and try out under the TRCW, which Jay agreed to immediately. Omega trained under Bobby J for 12 months before making his first appearance for the TRCW in 2000, when he was just 16 years old. Before Omega made his debut, he needed a name and a character to spice up his in-ring performance. So being a fan of video games, he adopted the name Kenny Omega. The Kenny Omega ring name was inspired by the character Omega Weapon from the Final Fantasy video game series. After making his debut, Omega loved the lights, camera, and action that came with being a wrestler, and he was willing to give it everything he got. In 2001, Omega decided to drop out of college after freshman year to join another wrestling promotion called the Premier Championship Wrestling in Winnipeg. Omega was so good. He knew how to blend in with the storylines and portray every character given to him. After a successful time in the PCW, winning the Tag Team Championship and the PCW Heavyweight Championship, the WWE came calling for the first time. In 2005, Omega was invited for a tryout with the WWE at the developmental territory known as Deep South Wrestling. Omega, as expected, performed spectacularly. The recruits were very impressed, and they decided to hand him a contract under the DSW and not the WWE. But Omega wasn't happy with the way his time with the DSW was going. He disliked it so much that less than a year later, he requested his contract be terminated. It even got messy when Tyson publicly called out some of the promoters for their negligence and poor service to him and other talents. Leaving behind a big contract that could have earned him a huge spot in the WWE was a tough one for Omega. But he made the right call because from there on, his skills in the ring became a high demand. He reinvented his wrestling persona and upgraded his moves inside the ring. He joined Jersey All-Pro Wrestling, JAPW, in September 2007, and in March 2008, he defeated Low Ki in one of the most multi-skilled matches ever seen in the promotion to claim the JAPW Heavyweight Championship. Like I said, Omega became a wrestler in high demand because of his ability to sway the crowd and sell out tickets for his outstanding in-ring performance. Between 2008 and 2010, Tyson competed in different promotions including Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and DDT Pro Wrestling. He was everywhere, and he was single-handedly taking over the world of pro wrestling. Until he was hit with a big controversy. In 2011, on a Japanese TV show, Stardom x Stardom. Omega was in a match against a 9-year-old girl named Haruka. This was one of the worst matches of his career because the girl was too young. Omega received a lot of backlash from wrestling pundits and his fans. He became hated immediately. The match made international news, and soon after, he started receiving death threats. Omega had to release an official statement stating that he personally trained Haruka for the match. He also stated that the match was only conducted because of the safe environment he promised to abide by throughout the match. With time, the drama about the incident with Haruka started to gradually fade. After the heat had settled, Omega went back to competing under multiple wrestling promotions except for the WWE. At the time, the WWE also had very good talents like Batista, CM Punk, John Cena, and The Rock. But a lot of WWE fans were demanding to see Kenny Omega also compete in the promotion. In 2014, the WWE extended another contract to Omega, but he turned it down. The demand for Omega grew stronger among WWE fans. The company had to issue contracts 3 times in 2015 alone. And what did Omega do? That's right, he still turned all of them down. According to Omega, he didn't like the storytelling done in the WWE because of how shallow they were. He wanted the freedom to exhibit his own persona in the ring and not be controlled by creative writers. WWE later folded its offers. But just when that happened, Tyson made history with Kazuchika Okada in January 2017, when they fought for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship at Wrestle Kingdom 11 in Tokyo Dome. This match is still regarded as one of the greatest wrestling matches of all time. It lasted for almost 47 minutes, with a glorious build-up and fantastic in-ring display. Wrestling journalist Dave Meltzer gave the match a 6-star rating in the Wrestling Observer newsletter. Notable wrestlers like Daniel Bryan, Mick Foley, and Stone Cold Steve Austin also acknowledged the brilliance in that fight. Vince McMahon and the WWE extended a final contract to Omega, but he rejected. And you can understand why the WWE needed a guy like Omega so badly. He's an incredible talent. He's wrestled with notable WWE superstars like AJ Styles, Ricochet, Shinsuke Nakamura, and so many others. He was good for business, but Omega just didn't want to work with them. Seeing how badly they wanted him, Omega knew it was time to step up. So he did something no one had any idea he'd do. But before we reveal the epic moment, let's do something for all of you watching. We're hosting a shout-out contest for our subscribers. So if you want a personal shout-out from us in a future video, go comment EPIC in the comments section below and stand a chance to win our monthly contest. It's easy. Comment EPIC right now and you're in. Kenny signed a 4-year contract with All Elite Wrestling in 2019. AEW is a big rival to WWE, so that must have been hard for Vince McMahon to see. Now, not only did Kenny sign with the AEW, but his first match under the promotion was also sensational. He battled one of WWE's most popular superstars, Chris Jericho, in the promotion's inaugural event, Double or Nothing. It was a 5-star classic, with both men putting their bodies on the line. Chris Jericho won the match, but a very big storyline came into play when Jon Moxley came through the crowd to deliver a DDT to both of them after the fight and the referee. At Frighter Fest, Kenny Omega came for revenge against Moxley. He powerbombed Moxley through a table, beat him all the way through the crowd, and finally delivered a DDT to Moxley on a trash can. The rivalry between Omega and Moxley grew stronger. The two went head-to-head for the first time at Full Gear in an unsanctioned lights-out match. This match is still regarded as one of the best matches in the AEW to this day. It was nothing short of awesome. However, Omega lost that night when he jumped off the turnbuckle and landed on the bare wood of the ring. Moxley then took the opportunity to deliver a DDT that shut Omega's lights out. That was the end of their rivalry. But Omega had bigger plans in store for AEW. He won the AEW Tag Team Championship with Adam Page, but later lost the title to the FTR. Going back to singles competition in October 2020, Omega participated in a tournament to determine the #1 contender for the AEW World Championship. Getting to the finals, Omega had to face his former tag team partner Adam Page. Page almost won the title by delivering 2 power bombs to Omega, but still, Omega kicked out at 2 counts. After a long back and forth between both superstars, Omega delivered his signature one-winged angel to win the match. Then the moment came. Omega was going one-on-one with his old rival, Jon Moxley, for the AEW Championship at AEW Dynamite in December 2020. The beginning of the match was straight up hardcore, with Omega dragging Moxley out of the ring and delivering a suplex at ringside. Moxley avenged the move by sending Omega into the ring post. Getting back into the ring, Omega destabilized Moxley's left leg with a dive kick into a turnbuckle, forcing Moxley to continue the match with a broken leg. The match was so heated at one point, both men sat in the middle of the ring to take a break. I mean, can you believe that? Moxley then delivered a DDT to Omega on the heaters outside the ring, causing Omega to go out cold. Ringside officials were seconds away from stopping the match before Moxley grabbed Omega and threw him in the ring to keep the match going. The match continued on until a major turning point occurred. Omega's manager, Don Callis, caused a distraction that enabled Omega to pick up a microphone and smack Moxley hard right in between his eyes. Omega then gained momentum and delivered 5 V triggers and crowned it up with his sinister one-winged angel. And just like that, Omega became the new AEW World Champion. His manager came into the ring and crowned him the champion. Omega reigned as AEW Champion for 346 days, the longest in the history of the promotion. Kenny Omega has made his mark in pro wrestling. As the executive vice president of AEW, he's been able to create the biggest competition for the WWE in nearly 20 years. While he might never compete in the WWE ring, one has to ask, what's next for Omega? Kindly check out this video showing on your screen right now, and bye for now.